Next gatekeeper, one that you're going to be familiar with or have some insight in, drone spam.
Yeah, I played it. I did the thing. I played an inferior version of it because I didn't have enough drones initially. And then I got into it, and it's effective, right? You have these units that somehow, people are so upset, I'm sure, that they didn't get nerfed in the annual. But 7 points gets you a flying unit with, 8-inch move, flying assault weapons, has 2 of them. They can each fire 2 shots even when you advance.
At strength 5.
At strength 5, 0 AP, 1 damage, but strength 5 is huge.
It's like the most damage on a troop weapon, or the highest strength on a troop weapon.
Well, I mean, the idea is they have more powerful weapons because they're not hitting anything. They're, they're kind of like, but I mean, I guess you look at orcs. Orcs have t-shirt saves and don't have as good a weapon, but they get into melee. So it's, the drones don't do much in melee. They barely do anything in shooting. I mean, you're always hitting on 5s or 6s. Even people talk about taking that drone controller on the new Crisis, and I just don't. Anyways, drones, they're good. They're the most cost-efficient unit in the game. 7 points for a recon drone, too. That's an assault 4 weapon, and it gives one of your Pathfinders a Omnispecs for a turn.
Can I pause you for a second? Was that a tangent that was about to happen on that drone controller?
Yeah.
This is real talk for competitive kill team players. Say it.
Drone controller is terrible, and if you're running one in competitive play, it is bad. It reduces, I think it reduces their ballistic score by 1 or something like that, but you're always going to, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me to keep these drones sitting. If you're keeping the drones sitting around just staying within that distance of your Crisis suit, that's fun for a fun campaign kind of game or a narrative game, but you're not going out. You're not moving them to the points that they need to be on, the objectives they need to be on. You're not tying up models that you need to be tying up. You're just sitting there. It's not worth it. If you're running anything other than 3 weapons on a Crisis suit, you're probably doing it
wrong. Do you think that Crisis suit spam could be a thing? I mean, how many you could take 2? Would that even be a legal list? 2 in a drone?
You could take, I think you could get 3 into a list, right? They're 40 points each. They're about 40 points each. I'd have to look. If you can get them, I forget if you can get them down to, because 40 I think it's 42 for the Flamer one, 3 Flamer one, which that would put you at 126, right? That would put you at 126, would be a point over. So you couldn't take 3. Realistically, you'd do 2, and then like you said, you'd throw in some drones. But one of them would have to be your leader, and I don't know, man. I mean, hey, look. Anything is possible, right? So I am saying what my opinions are. There are people who are going to be out there. Paul, who's going to be playing with us later for the LVO prep. He ran that Crisis with the Flamers at SCO, and he did relatively well with it. I think that Sheldon, Kill Team Stream, just ran a one with Flamers at an LVO prep tournament or whatever he did. And he said that single-handedly won him one of his games. Now, but here's the thing. That's not to say that if you had 6 drones in place of that one Crisis suit, and let's say 3 of them were shield drones, I think a shield drone could have held up whatever his Crisis suit did, or you could have won, I think, easier. It's kind of, you look at win conditions. We talked about win conditions last time. You're putting more on that 142-point model as a win condition. Whereas if you have 6 drones in its place, you have multiple win conditions. You can separate those drones and get better secondaries on positionals. You can run those drones in and get charges to stop things up. You can, if you just have that one model, it's again, like I said, body count. If you just have that one model, yeah, he's a beast, and yeah, he's got these Flamers, but all of a sudden, like in our game, I rolled and I took me all 3 Flamers to take out 1 Gaunt.
Yeah.
And now that 42-point model is really not getting his points. And there are games where he will be more effective. But on average, he will be less effective than 6 other models would be.
It's something that I hear what you're saying reminds me of something that I hear talked about a lot in Big 40K that I never hear talked about in Kill Team, which is redundancy.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want one model that an entire secondary is like on him to do.
Predicated on him. Yeah, you
right.
don't, yeah.
So it's like, okay, if I lose this model, 3 or more points are just gone. You cannot do that. Like, that's why I'm looking at lists now, and you know, I know we talked about the Death Guard Terminator and stuff, how ridiculous that would be and whatnot, but it's like, if the job needs to be done, I want that model. because it's like that's the whole thing about beating the packet and the faction, not the players. It's like you got to look at this and say, this is what I need, and then make it as efficient as possible. Whereas a lot of people are just looking at the efficient, oh, this rocket cutter is really good, it kills a lot of people, so I'm going to take the max of them, and then stuff like that. And I wonder if that's almost a trap in a way, like seeing something that's really good and then like, oh, so I'm going to take the max of this. Meanwhile, it's like, what was their job? Is their job to score? Is this a meta where it's only holding objectives?
Yeah. Because
then killing might not be necessary. If it's not going to reward any points, why not just take a list with 20 dudes, very durable or very fast or something like that?
Because it's called Kill Team, Chris. I want to kill stuff. I don't want to sit on an objective and wave at stuff. If I'm not rolling dice, I'm not having fun.
Well, speaking of a list, get a lot of kills.